What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're going to be breaking down why KUNKKA has a 51.60% win rate. This hero honestly is best position right now is currently from the offline. You could still play as a mid laner. I just think the amount of utility this hero provides is so much better on the offlane because you can set up more combos and you can be a little bit more passive when taking stacks. When you're in the mid lane as a KUNKKA, you definitely want to rotate a lot more and you want to make more space for your carry. But when you're playing offlane KUNKKA, it's a little bit greedier and you're able to take more stacks and take a little bit more space for yourself because you are sharing XP with your support. So it's not like the mid lane where you're going to have a lot more XP and you're going to be a lot stronger than most of the other heroes. But right now, mostly KUNKKA is being picked from the offlane. It's just such a strong role for the hero to be playing. The hero doesn't lose a whole lot of lanes. He's very sustainable, very survivable. And if you're able to pair this hero with a hero like Shadow Demon or a hero like Piranha and you're able to torrent into arrow, there's going to be a lot of kills flowing into that lane. And Tidebringer is always going to be a really nice tool, but you guys need to be careful when you guys are using Tidebringer on the wave, as you are going to be shoving in the lane quite heavily. So make sure you're not using it constantly to shove in the lane unless that is definitely what you want, because the hero you're facing up against can't last hit under tower as easily and you're able to put a lot more pressure. It honestly depends. So think about the wave equilibrium a lot more when you're playing with this hero, as you can shove the lane a lot more, but you can always stabilize it with a nice pull from your support. So you can definitely get around that. And it's always going to be good harassment with Tidebringer. It's very, very strong in the laning phase, especially against low armor heroes. If you are facing up against a high armor lineup, then definitely take more points in the torrent, as it is going to help you secure range creeps. It's also going to secure a lot more magic damage, which is always going to be nice against high armor targets. Typically the build on this hero is phase boots. You could also go double bracer if the lane is difficult. If not, just get one bracer and then you go into blade mail, Aghanim Scepter. That can definitely change if there's not a lot of uncontrollable damage or there's not a lot of burst damage. Then blade mail isn't really the play, and you can just go straight Aghanim Scepter and then get a shard. Then you can go for BKB refresher Shivas. You can also go for a bloodstone if you do decide to go full magical build. I just don't think physical KUNKKA is as strong as it used to with the whole dataless build. I don't think it's as good as it used to be, hence why this hero is being played a lot more of a controlled tempo hero. He's mostly being played around Torrent Storm and being able to cast X marks the spot with torrent into boat and basically be that heavy magic damage control type hero. That's pretty much the way he's being played. Even in Pro League, they're not playing physical KUNKKA. Even from the mid lane, they're all still rushing Aghanim Scepter. Torrent Storm is an absolutely fantastic ability. Sometimes it can feel really underwhelming because the torrents are random, so it can feel a little bit bad if you're not hitting the right targets, but it is what it is. It is RNG based, so sometimes you'll get huge Torrent Storms with a ton of value. Sometimes you won't get as much value, but the spell overall is one of the best control spells in the game. It is always going to feel very nice, and you can always set up even better by using your tidal wave with your X marks the spot torrent combo. And Ghost Ship is always going to be nice because that run buff is going to keep you a lot safer. It's going to give you that extra damage mitigation. I just wish the boat would actually do more damage. I think the boat should be one of these killer abilities. Even if you increase the cooldown a lot more, I think boat should have a little bit more damage, because sometimes it can feel very underwhelming when you're going up against a more tankier support than usual and you're not able to kill them with the torrent combo. It just feels kind of bad sometimes. That's just my opinion though. I think boat damage should be a little bit buffed, and they could mitigate that by increasing the cooldown a little bit more. I would definitely be quite okay with that. You can also go for Hand of Midas if you are having a pretty tough game, because sometimes you're going to be running into very tough matchups where you might need Hand of Midas and take a lot more farm, but you are one of the best stack takers in the game. So recovering on this hero is quite easy. Just take some time to get some stacks, or maybe ask your supports to stack for you. You're easily going to be able to recover. That's one of the good things about the hero. You could even pick it into bad matchups and still recover and still have a really good game. Now I'm going to be breaking down some of his best and worst matchups. So typically KUNKKA is good up against Arc Warden, Luna, Medusa, Abaddon. These heroes are very popular in the meta, hence why KUNKKA has a much stronger place in the meta. He is good up against all these heroes. You have a lot of control, and these heroes definitely don't like to be controlled, don't like to be thrown around in the air with a bunch of torrents or get hit by boat. And some of the bad matchups are Lifestealer, Monkey King, Huskar, Juggernaut. So Juggernaut is always going to be good against the KUNKKA because you can pretty much dodge his whole combo with spin. But at the same time, if the KUNKKA knows what he's doing, when you go for a spin TP on the Jug, you're still able to X marks the spot and pull him back. That's always going to feel really, really nice. So make sure you are timing that correctly, as well as BKB. Make sure you guys know what their BKB charge is at, how many seconds, and then you're going to be able to pull them back with X marks the spot. It is really, really strong. Some of the best KUNKKA KUNKKA players in the world have this down perfectly, and they are getting a lot more kills that typically wouldn't happen just because you can BKB TP out. But with KUNKKA, they can definitely be a lot more worried because the X marks the spot can actually pull them back after the BKB duration. And heroes like Monkey King and Lifestealer are going to be very difficult for you to fight up in lane unless you have a nice support to be able to back you up. Heroes like Lich, maybe a Dark Willow, heroes like this that are going to be able to support you a lot better and give you frost armor is going to be really nice. But Lich isn't as popular in the current meta, so you might not really see that. But heroes like Grimstroke are also really nice. Having a strong support in these tough lanes is going to definitely benefit you a lot, but you can always fall back to the jungle and recover. Even these matchups are not that terrible. The KUNKKA can still win them out, or at least go even. Just play a lot more defensive and not as aggressive, and you're going to be doing a lot better. Let me know in the comment section below what do you guys think about KUNKKA in the current meta. I think the hero is extremely strong and should be picked a lot more often. I don't see as much mid lane KUNKKA as I used to. I'm seeing a lot more offlane, but I do really like the offlane. The build is really nice, and it does everything you need an offlaner to do. You have control, you have damage, you have setup with X marks the spot, you have boat for that run buff. There's a lot of things the hero is providing. You can also build a hex for even more utility. It's always going to feel nice to have a KUNKKA on your team. Hopefully you guys did learn something. If you guys did, consider subscribing and joining the Dota Chronicles community. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.